I'm lost in darkness, searching for light. Every step forward feels like a fight. Shadows of doubt creep in my mind, but I refuse to surrender. I must find a way to rise above the pain, to overcome, to break the chains. My existence is a test of will. I won't be broken, I'll stand still. The weight of the world crushes me down. Fear and uncertainty all around. But I deep find inner strength that face the trials length by length. A way to rise above the pain, to overcome, to break the chains. My existence is a test of will. I won't be broken, I'll stand still. Through every storm, I'll find my way. Through every night, a brighter day. I'll rise from ashes, like a phoenix born. My spirit unbroken, my heart reborn. I've walked through fire and emerged scarred, but wiser, stronger, and unmarred. My existence is a test of will, of trials overcome, of a soul made bold. The weight of the world above the pain, to overcome, to break the chains. My existence is a test of will. I won't be broken, I'll stand still. Oh, made bold. Through every storm, I'll find my way. Through every night, a brighter day. I'll rise from ashes like a phoenix born. My spirit unbroken, my spirit unborn. I'm lost in darkness, searching for light. Every step forward feels like a fight. Shadows of doubt creep in my mind, but I refuse to surrender. I must find a way to rise above the pain, to overcome, to break the chains. My existence is a test of will. I won't be broken, I'll stand. Day to day, nothing changes. All I want is a moment to think clearly, but thoughts come unrelenting, consuming every waking moment. My mind binds me and I can't escape. I shout for help, but no one hears me. One day I feel I'll just disappear. Lost in this chaos, I'm searching for peace.
Greetings and salutations, everyone, and welcome to the Dirt Sheet Radio NXT Post Show Rewind for February the 25th, 2024. Hey, it's me, your friendly neighborhood pro wrestling hipster, here with little Molly Holly, the long-haired chihuahua, as always on Tuesday nights. We're flying solo this evening, bringing all the news of the day of NXT to you live tonight for Dirt Sheet Radio. Thank you guys for tuning in. We have a lot to cover tonight. A really, really big show out of my home state here of Cincinnati. Not where I was, or not home state, my home state of Ohio. Here in Cincinnati, just a little south of where I'm at. But fantastic show tonight, guys. Before I can get into all the goodies of tonight's episode, I have to give that shout out to us on the web, dirtsheetradio.com. Make it your homepage, y'all. It is your resource, your destination for all things professional wrestling, entertainment, pop culture, all of it, everything you need, all in one convenient location. Check it out. Make it your homepage. Look at it multiple times a day, just like we do. Not because we're legally obligated, but because we love to do it. Folks, NXT was a heck of a show. We had, okay, fine, Molly, fine. Okay, it's all right. Go that way. We had a killer show tonight. PLE quality matches. Pretty much across the board. We had a short one in there too, little squash action there. But for the most part, PLE quality wrestling tonight. A lot of movement in story progression. A lot of matches being made for the upcoming weeks as we are on the road to stand and deliver with one roadblock standing in the way, which is in New York, guys. But yeah, so I'm going to get into it. Like I said, got a lot to cover. So I'm going to get through this here. I'm going to start at the beginning of the show, as that is a wonderful place to start. Tonight's episode, as I said, came to us from Cincinnati, not the state of Cincinnati, but the city of Cincinnati, in the state of Ohio, the state that I reside in, here in parts unknown, which is Columbus. But they were at the Icon Music Center. And we had on the call tonight Corey Grace, Vic Joseph, and Booker T. As the show opened, Vic kind of ran down the show, as they typically do, showing wrestlers filtering into the arena tonight. Obviously, Javon Evans, Ricky Saints. Whoo, man. Proud of commentary for not saying Starks a single time tonight, because I feel like I'm going to at least 5 or 6, but we'll see. Also, the Hardys making their return to WWE here tonight. It's their debut at NXT, but return to WWE as a whole. Yeah, but we really quick kind of introduction open there, and we went right into the action tonight. We had Stephanie Vacker defending her North American Championship against Karmen Petrovic. Karmen Petrovic, of course, out there with her beau, her boyfriend, her lover, Ashante, the Adonis. I apologize for saying lava in such a way. Sorry, guys, didn't mean to. I hope I didn't gross anybody out there. But Stephanie Vacker here in her first title defense, and they always say the first defense is the hardest. That's what Booker T says. I don't know if that's true or not, but that's what he says. The match was really good. This is one of Karmen Petrovic's best singles matches, I would say, ever here at NXT. She's really, really starting to look a lot more crisp in the ring, coming along very well. But I wish I had a clear shot of Ashante the Adonis. I really don't, because good God, he was dressed like Clint Eastwood out there tonight. It was absolutely ridiculous. Sorry, back to the action in the ring. Like I said, this was a good PLE quality match. Stephanie Vacker looked like $1 million here. One of my favorite bits on commentary, when Vacker hit those knee strikes to the mat, Vic Joseph commented that someone needs to get Booker T a cigarette, and that's true. Book's getting a little raw during that move. I'm getting a little uncomfortable with it, to be completely honest. But when it was all said and done here, Stephanie Vacker, I think predictably, retaining her North American Championship here in 11 minutes and 38 seconds. After a couple moments of her, celebrating, soaking in the adulation of the folks there in Cincinnati, Julia Julia made her way out to the ring, and she told well, okay, first I want to say the crowd got cut out. The audio was dropped from the CW feed as the crowd chanted "Holy shit" as Julia confronted Stephanie Vacker. Again, said this a couple weeks ago when they did this. I understand you don't want them to say shit, but God, it takes away from the enormity of these moments just a little bit when you choose to completely mute the audience. It hurts the moment a little bit, guys. Just a hair, just a hair. But Julia said that they are friends, but she wanted to find out who the best woman is, and she wants it to be title for title, champion versus champion. I I can't believe they're going here already. This and they would make. I'll talk about it a little bit later. This would be made official later tonight. But I honestly cannot believe they're going here already. I can't imagine this has an actual conclusive clean finish. It can't. It can't. There has to be, especially considering that they're doing another title versus title match at Roadblock, and I'll talk about that again a little bit later, guys. It's called foreshadowing, an amuse bouche uh, for the conversation to come. So I can't imagine that this is actually going to end with Julia or Stephanie Vacker holding both the North American Championship and the NXT Championship. I can't imagine they would do that. At least I would hope not. And I would even less like if they went the unification route. But it doesn't look like that's the way they're going based off of what they said later tonight. But this was shocking. I again can't believe they're doing this. I have the faith in them that they won't, muck it up, but we'll see. We'll see. Real quick too, I just want to give Karmen Petrovic another, little bit of props here as she looked really good here. This was her first shot at a championship. They made note of that a couple times on the commentary, and she looked good here. So the fact that they brought that up a couple times, I think that's them trying to reinforce that she is getting to these positions because she belongs there, and she did look like she belonged there tonight. Obviously, Stephanie was, was her match. She was going to be the victor here, but Karmen was a, believable challenger. Believable challenger. Good job. Oh, I should have brought that picture up a moment ago, but yeah, it's gonna be a hell of a match. Really looking forward to the match. It's gonna be flipping great, but yeah, kind of weird. So we cut to I think this was earlier this afternoon. I guess on the banks of the Ohio River. Glad we had good weather in Ohio, in most parts of Ohio today. It looks pretty nice outside of Cincinnati there. But we had Miss NXT Ariana Grace chatting with her father, Santino Marella. And they were talking about the tag team match coming up, and Lola Vice kind of bombed into the scene here, and she said that she was interested in a match tonight, unless nobody in Ariana's family taught her how to fight. Morella shot Vice a pretty mean look, and then the Cobra came up, and yeah, this the setup for a match that would take place later tonight. It was fine setup. Hadn't seen Lola wrestle on NXT television in a minute, and it's been even longer since Miss Ariana Grace had wrestled on NXT television. So it was perfectly fine setup. This is I was wondering going into tonight if they were going to add another match. They only had four on the announced card, which is fine for a 2-hour show. NXT usually gives 9 to 12 minutes to a lot of their matches, so you get a good good amount of bell time from them. But they did work in a fifth match with this tonight. So from there, back into the backstage of the arena, we had Lexis King walking around, and he happened upon NXT champion Obafemi. And Lexis King said the match that everybody is really clamoring to see, the one that they all truly want, is the television star Lexis King taking on Obafemi. Yeah, it's not the dream match, guys. It's not it. I think people were Oh, no, I'm sorry, I misspoke. He said it was Lexus King and Moose, which I was coming up. But yeah, guys, Lexus King's barking up the wrong tree here with both Moose and Obafemi. Um, we'll get into the match here in just a minute, but they gave Lexus a little more here than I thought they would tonight. But yeah, up next, folks, we had one-on-one Lexus King and Moose for the TNA X Division Championship. Moose got a pretty good response here tonight from the crowd. Obviously, they know who he is. He's been in the game for quite a while now, but he got a good response from the crowd, and the match was solid. This was I'd say a pretty standard WWE style match, but I'm also going to say that Lexus King showed a little more here than I feel like he had. He seemed to have a little more fire in him tonight. I don't know if it was because he's being paired with someone who is not contracted to the company. So, you want to look extra good in that case because you don't want to be really outshone by someone who's not being paid by your boss. Um, or, if it was just like he knew with Moose, he was going to have to step it up physically to kind of keep up there. But like I said, the match was good. It was physical. This was not going to be Lexus King's victory tonight. I think I talked myself into it for a hot minute last week about him potentially pulling this out somehow. But no, it was not to be for the television star Lexus King. Moose picking up the win here in 9 minutes and 30 seconds to retain the TNA X Division Championship. He celebrated shortly before he was confronted by NXT champion Obafemi. Speaking of the dream matches here, guys, Oba came out. He congratulated Moose on the win, but he let everyone in on what they were waiting for. In 2 weeks at Roadblock, they will face off. It's going to be NXT champion Obafemi taking on TNA X Division champion Moose, 1-on-1, title for title. That's going to be flipping awesome, guys. Big meaty men slapping meat. This is what we like to see. Like, well, God, was it Gorilla Monsoon used to say way back when they better reinforce the ring for that one. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be great. That's what I was saying though earlier. They're putting two title versus title matches on the same card, and I can't imagine that they're both going to end flush and clean. I could be wrong. I certainly have been before and certainly will be again. But it just doesn't seem super likely to me, I guess. But rolling on from there, we had a pre-taped segment with Shawn Spears and the Information Bush, trademark pro wrestling hipster. Again, it's not a learning tree, it's an information bush. Basically, he just went through and talked about the transformation that he has put each of these individuals through, the depths of despair he picked them up from and reshaped and molded them, blah, 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 yada, yada, yada. He's got a cult, but it was a well done vignette. All jokes aside here, it did highlight each character and gave a little bit more insight to each one of them. And they got Izzy Dame looking evil now. They put some dark ombre into her hair. That's how you know she's a full blown heel. Yeah. Like I said, this was a pretty good vignette. Most of these pre-tapes typically are. But I will say that if they're trying to get me to be excited about Shawn Spears and Tony D'Angelo, they got to work a little harder than cool information bush vignette, because not super hype. Not super hype for that match. Hello, Ronnie. Thanks for tuning in. The Information Bush is what I call Shawn Spears' group here at NXT. Because he was taking people under his wing and trying to impart knowledge and wisdom. He said something to that effect a few months ago. And I didn't want to call it the Learning Tree because that's what Chris Jericho is doing. So I've been calling it the Information Bush for a while. Trademark Information Bush, pro wrestling hipster. So information bush. um, oh, Tony, hey man, haven't seen you in here in a minute, brother. Welcome, welcome. I like the way it looks. I like the strap collar. I like the design on it. No complaints there. But the educational shrub. I will also accept educational shrub to information bush. These are great. God, keep these rolling in tonight. Learning tree, information bush, educational shrub. This is great, guys. This is fantastic. Oh gosh. But moving through the show ahead of the break, they teased that Jordynne Grace would be coming out next to say some words to the NXT faithful. Um, and that's. Oh, I don't have a picture for this. So ahead of the Jordynne, they did that thing. They teased her coming out. When they come back, good grief, where'd my grammar go? When they came back from the break, they showed a social media bit. I think it was like on X, where it was Ariana Grace was on a bus. I assume heading to the arena with Kelani Jordan. Grace asked Jordynne about Jaida Parker, and she said some not very nice things about her. And they're on a tour bus. There's like 15 feet, 20 feet max. Jaida Parker heard every word. And of course, this led to, a lot of jawing and near brawling here. So it's setting up for something that'll, take place next week. But from there, we were back in the arena, and Jordynne Grace came through the ramp there with a mic in hand. And she said that she always knew from the beginning where she belonged. She showed up to NXT as an outsider, but once she saw what was there and felt the hunger in that locker room, she knew that she had to be a part of it, that she wanted to be part of the best women's division in the world, and she wanted to be a champion. I like this. First, I want to say that Jordynne Grace she's a star. She carries herself like a champion. She has that gravitas, the aura, as the kids like to say. um, But yeah, she said a lot of kind things about the NXT Women's Division. But she wasn't out there for alone for too long before she was interrupted by former NXT champion Roxanne Perez and I guess upcoming Elimination Chamber combatant Roxanne Perez. But yeah, I was glad to see Roxy out here tonight. I didn't know if we were going to get her back on NXT at all. So it looks like she's not completely attached to the main roster. But yeah, she came out here, started running down, Jordynne Grace, and said, of course, that Jordynne Grace wanted to come in here and be part of her division. And Jordynne said, if this is your division, then where's your title? To which Roxy retorted, "You mean the title that you couldn't beat me for? Two can play this game. You don't want to, try to throw too big of a verbal jab at Roxy. She'll bite right back. She'll bite right back." But Roxy said that this weekend she would be going into the Elimination Chamber and she was going to win that, and she was going to win the WWE Women's Championship, and if she wanted to, she would come back and win the NXT Women's Championship, and she'd be Roxy Two Belts. And all the while getting closer to Jordynne Grace here, and Jordynne told Roxy there was a really famous saying that everyone has a plan until, and then she punched Roxy in the face. So the second part of that phrase is until someone punches you in the face. I believe Mike Tyson said that. But they brawled quickly there. She got Roxy up, but Roxy was able to scramble out of the ring onto the ramp, which was right by the ring apron there, very conveniently placed, especially for someone 5 foot tall. I'm sure she appreciated that. But she was able to get away with without too much damage done to her. I liked this segment. I thought it was pretty solid. Roxy's mic work, it's not the strongest thing about her. Okay, she still has improvement to go there, but she's getting better That's why I'm not super duper concerned about it as she's making her move to the main roster here. I do hope that they want to position her as a face at some point. I think she's stronger that way, and I think she would make a better impact on the main roster as a face. Um, but obviously, the way she's being positioned right now in NXT, she's a heel, and with her, in a program and feud with Bayley, she is also positioned as a heel. But yeah, I like this. Jordynne was good on the mic here as well. So again, a lot of moving pieces with the NXT Women's Division. I'm never 100% sure who's going to be paired with whom on a week-to-week basis, but it's always good. It's always good no matter what they do. All right, going backstage, we had Trick Williams hanging out, looking at his phone, all sad, lamenting the comments that people were making online about him losing to Eddie Thorpe in that strap match. Javon came in and he tried to relate to Trick, telling him that they're in similar situations. And Williams just flipped the shit here, said, no, it's not even the same. You're fighting over a smile. I'm fighting for a championship. He went into him pretty hard verbally, and it seemed like it was going to come to fisticuffs, but it didn't. It didn't. As Ricky Saints came into the scene here and things calmed down just a little bit, he offered a handshake to a Trick Willie, who instead went for a fist bump. Saints said that introduced himself, and Williams said, "Yeah, I heard about you," and then he walked away. Trick's looking a little cold between his very dark appearance last week and just kind of his tone and everything, and kind of just his overall dickish behavior. It almost feels like they're kind of dipping him a little heel right now. I don't know if they're wanting to really go to a full heel turn, but they're getting real close to that territory. Real close. But Starks. See, I did it. I told y'all I was going to do it. Ricky commented here that, why is everyone so angry around here? Yeah, see, I thank you, Tony. Starks, exactly. It's the same. Starks. Ricky Starks. It's Saints. It's Saints. We got to get used to it. We have to get used to saying Saints now. We can't abide Starks anymore. Still not 100% why that is, but he wants to know why everyone's so angry around there. But yeah, all right. So ahead of the break, we got the tease of the Hardys and the No Quarter Catch Crew match that would be coming up there shortly. But before that match was underway, before the entrances actually even happened, we did get Jaida Parker with Sarah Schreiber. And she cut a really good, fiery promo here, just cutting down Kelani Jordan left and right. And she said that Kalani's going to find out why everybody says that Jaida Parker don't play. They will be facing each other one-on-one next week. I say this a lot. I haven't had the opportunity to say it lately. Jaida hasn't been super duper featured the last couple weeks or last month or so. But Jaida Parker is the real deal. I will say this about Jaida frequently in case, someone hasn't heard it from me yet. But I will again state that. Jaida Parker is the real deal. She is a superstar in the making. She is going to be a mainstay name on the main roster eventually for a very, very long time. She has absolutely everything it takes to succeed in professional wrestling. She has a fantastic look. She has incredible athletic prowess. She has a good character. She's good on the mic, and she's young. She's only going to get better as she goes on. But yeah, I can't say enough good things about Jaida Parker. She wasn't near OTM this week. Just I always like to point that out too when they seem to separate them, and then they kind of put them back together again a little bit, and then they don't show them together for weeks again. But that tends to be the the way they do that. But moving on through the show here, we had one of the anticipated matches tonight. The WWE return, WWE soft return of the Hardy Boys on NXT here. The current TNA Tag Team Champions taking on the No Quarter Catch Crew. In this case, being Tavion Heights and Miles Bourne. Miles Bourne looking like a clone of Randy Orton. At this point, it's got to be intentional. He knows what he is doing with with his look here. He did not hit an RKO out of nowhere tonight, though. Just to clarify, in case anyone was hopeful that that was something that was going to happen. But guys, this was a really good match, and I'm sure that as is the case with a lot of the talent at NXT that gets to learn from these folks and pick their ear a bit. But in the case of the No Quarter Catch crew, they got to wrestle the Hardys. One of the greatest tag teams in the history of professional wrestling. On a personal standpoint, if you pushed me to say pick your favorite tag team of all time, probably would be the Hardys for me. I'm of that generation. I was always a little bit more of a Mac guy, but that's neither here nor there. And you know what? For the age that they're at, they can still go out there and do it. They can still do their Hardy stuff, and especially when there were some younger guys that can create a good bit of movement. But the match flowed well. The No Quarter Catch crew got a good bit of shine here with the Hardys, which is good. I mean, that's what the Hardys should be doing at this stage in their careers. They're legends in the business, but they need to make that younger talent look good. They are definitely on the far back end of their careers here, but they definitely made the NQCC look good here tonight. And of course, the Hardys did get the win in 11 minutes and 10 seconds. Good match here. The NQCC wasn't going to win this, but they had some good hope spots, and the crowd was into this one tonight too. Really good, guys. Just want to say here too, in that just absolute same energy, guys. Look at that. Like I feel like Matt probably felt like he went through a time warp there tonight. Yeah, it was good. It was good. After the match was over, Fraxium, who had come down to ringside to observe the match during the course of it, they came down to. I originally thought to confront the Hardys, but they were putting them over. They gave a little tease there, saying that they were there as the best tag team in the world, standing across from the best tag team of all time. And this was good. They were just faces being faces to each other here, and they said that they wanted to face the Hardys. And as they were talking here, Jeff said enough small talk. And in true fashion, as soon as Jeff Hardy gets a mic in front of him and starts to talk, he's cut off by somebody else. Santino Marella made his way out to the entranceway to a big pop, and he said he was backstage talking to Ava. And God, I love Santino. He's always so much fun. Cornette once said that funny don't equal money, but I always say there's room for comedy in wrestling, and Santino he's so good at it. But he said at Roadblock, it would be Fractium versus the Hard Boys for the TNA Tag Team Championship. My apologies to the Italian community for that accent. But yeah, so at Roadblock here in just a couple of weeks, we'll be hitting Fraxium and the Hardys for the TNA Tag Team Championship. So again, that means at Roadblock we have the TNA X Division title against the NXT Championship with Moose and Obafemi, title for title. All right. Now the TNA Tag Team Championships will be on the line. That is not title for title. At least it hasn't been made that way yet. Hell, might as well do it. Let's just do it with everything. Let's just call Roadblock title for title. And then you've got Stephanie Vacker and Julia title for title. Obviously, those are both NXT championships. But yeah, Roadblock's going to be huge. When they announced Roadblock, I was saying that it was just going to be kind of a named weekly episode of NXT, but they're going all out being there in MSG, so it's going to be a pretty big show. I would look for at least a title change. I think that TNA X Division title is going to Obafemi. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying it now. But from there, I don't have a picture for this, but we had, I think it was the Progressive Spotlight segment. But it was the family hanging out in a restaurant having dinner. Stacks apologized for his loss last week, but Tony D said that he'd take care of business next week. And Luca Crucifino and Adriana Rizzo were just there. They were kind of eating and not really saying a lot there. But yeah, we from there had a quick ad for LFG, which I still need to watch Sunday's episode. I'm actually behind now. I haven't had time to catch up on that, but I like the LFG guys. I've said this. You need to check it out. Like for real, it's good. It's like Tough Enough's natural progression here. There's a whole bunch of cloned vipers rolling around. Oh goodness. All right. So they had this. I was gonna say backstage, but I guess it was backstage somewhere. But over the weekend, they showed Soul Ruca and her tag team partner and friend Zaria were hanging out, and she was taping Zaria's wrists up there, and the scene was bombed in by Piper Niven and U.S. champion Chelsea Green, and Chelsea wanted them gone. She wanted the thrift store people gone so she could get her massage here. So they little jawed back and forth. Piper Niven has a stun gun apparently. So that's terrifying. She doesn't need that. She's powerful enough without a debilitating electrical device. But hey, sure, let's weaponize her. Why not? But they argued back and forth here, and in the course of the verbal confrontation, Niven got them into a tag team match. So next week, we will be getting Zaria and Soul Ruca taking on Piper Niven and United States champion Chelsea Green. So cool, very cool. Always fun to see Chelsea make some periodic appearances at NXT, and obviously Piper's great as well. But Chelsea, God, she had that. She was part of Roxanne's run of title defenses last year. It was great. It's great. Always good to see you. But all right, so let's see. Back into the arena, as set up earlier this afternoon in that segment, Lola Vice taking on Ariana Grace one-on-one. As I said, it had been a minute since we had seen Lola Vice wrestle on NXT television, and it had been even longer since Ariana Grace had wrestled on NXT television. Yeah, Ariana Grace wasn't going to win this match. 2 minutes, 25 seconds. Lola picking up the win. This was to be expected here. But Ariana put up a good fight. She got some spots in. She got some good hits in. Her family did teach her how to fight. She knows what she's doing in there. But yeah, as I said, it wasn't to be her night. This was all Lola. Quick, decisive Lola Vice victory. Good to get her back on TV with a win. So, but all right. From there, they cut backstage from this immediately. Said something was going on. I think it was Brooks Jensen. I think was laid out on the floor. I think maybe somebody from the NQCC. It was hard to say, but it was perpetrated by the gang of 4 dudes that still don't have a name. They still don't have a name. They'll get there. But they're masked men attacking people, seemingly at random, stating no one is safe. And so far, no one is. Not even Mr. Stone. He just got absolutely just shellacked last week. He's home, guys. He wasn't even at NXT this week. That's how damaged Mr. Stone was from that attack. After that, we had a pre-taped segment of Eddie Thorpe walking through the streets of Cincinnati, talking about how his people once roamed this land only to be pushed out west and ignored. And he said it reminded him of how the powers that be ignore him and keep giving Trick Williams chance after chance, opportunity after opportunity, even after he'd beaten him. He said that if Williams wanted him one more time, though, he'd be there waiting. So, yeah, obviously they're setting up for one more confrontation between them. But yeah, I guess this is going to be Trick getting his win back, and it's just like kind of why do it? I mean, the win was big for Eddie Thorpe, though. Win over Trick Williams was pretty massive for him. But after that segment, we had Ava with Sarah Schreiber, and she formally announced the Obafemi versus Moose match, the Fraxium versus the Hardys, Stephanie Vacker versus Julia. She sorry, and announced what titles those would be for. Sorry, a cat just ran across my lap, guys. That was quite distracting. I'm going to start back there a second. Sarah Schreiber was talking with Ava, who announced the official sanctioning of the Obafemi title for title match with Moose, the Fraxium TNA tag team title match with the Hardys, and Stephanie Vacker and Julia's title for title match for both of NXT's women's championships. I mean, they confirmed it earlier. They still frame this as it being a pretty big announcement. It is a big formal announcement to make. It was here that they also announced that next week we would be getting in the North American Championship. Tony D defending against Shawn Spears, Kelani Jordynne and Jaida Parker after their argument on the tour bus, and of course in tag team action, Piper Niven and U.S. Champion Chelsea Green taking on Sol Ruca and Zaria. But all right. From there, it was main event time. Tag team action. We were getting Ethan Page and Wes Lee taking on Javon Evans and Ricky Saints. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the revolution. Ricky Saints. Yeah, so this was solid. Pretty good action throughout. Went 12 minutes 47 seconds. The record books will show that Ricky Saints and Javon Evans are the winners here tonight. But this really started as a tag team match, but ended more as a singles match. As Ethan Page and Javon Evans brawled away from the ring to the backstage, possibly outside the arena. Who knows where they ended up? They could have gotten on a plane and they're brawling all the way to Nantucket. I have absolutely no idea where they're at right now. There was no follow-up tonight. So I assume that they're still fighting to this very moment. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. But yeah, so they brought off, and it just left Wes Lee and Ricky to go at it one-on-one. And yeah, a lot of good physicality, a lot of good action. Ricky looked great here. It was good to see him wrestling. I don't say that to be tongue in cheek. I hadn't seen him wrestle in a minute. He's good. He's very good at what he does. He's good on the mic. He's good in the ring. I do have to address the chant. I didn't quite hear it at first. I started to pick up on it, and the audience was chanting, "Tony fumbled." Tony fumbled. I will not speak as to whether or not he did. Time will tell. Who knows? But that is what the crowd felt tonight. But they were hot for the match. They were into it from start to finish. They were into most of the show. I felt like they got a little quiet during the Moose Lexus King match. I'm not 100% why that would be. I mean, King got a little bit of an extra pop tonight, being from Cincinnati. They were a little quiet for that, but otherwise the crowd was really, really loud tonight. Faces went over in all the matches. But I mean, I guess Moose is technically a heel, but he's not as big of a heel in NXT as Lex King. You get what I mean. The crowd favorites, we'll say. Crowd favorites all went over tonight, so audience was happy. I'm a little salty. You know, I said this last week, but I'm a little salty that I wasn't able to procure tickets and make my way down to Cincinnati for this show. But hey, you know what? Silver lining is that I didn't have to deal with traffic, and I, of course, get to hang out and talk NXT here tonight and break down all the goods and fun of the show as it happened. But yeah, that takes us up, to the end of the show. That was a damn good main event, a damn good debut for Ricky Saints. Getting good at saying it, guys. Ricky Saints. I'll get there. I only said Starks like once or twice tonight, so not too bad. But yeah, that's going to take us into the NXT Jobber of the Night for February the 25th, 2025. I honestly have a hard time picking a true jobber. I mean, this happens from time to time for me here on the rewinds. I don't feel like anybody really fell short. I could pick someone for a loss, really kayfabe it, but honestly, everyone played their roles really well tonight. Everyone went out and accomplished what I think they wanted to accomplish. The crowd was into it. Everybody looked good. The jobber's me, actually, then for not getting tickets to the show tonight. That's it. It's me, the pro wrestling hipster, is the jobber this evening, guys. I'm sorry. I could have done the show driving back. I could have just mounted my phone on the dash mount and I could have made it work. I should have been there. So I'm the jobber of the night for not actually making my way to Cincinnati from parts unknown here in Columbus. Easy drive. It's like an hour and a half. I used to do it all the time. Damn. Let's go to the Megastar. I need to put myself in a better state of mind here. That's the sad one. That made me sadder. All right. Megastar. Now I do have megastars. I've got a couple megastars tonight. First, I will of course be mentioning Ricky Saints. He was just immediately received with a huge ovation from the crowd. His entrance music isn't that bad. Def Rebel sucks, but sometimes they suck a little less than they suck other times, and this is one of the times where they sucked a little less. Not horrible music. We'll get something better, hopefully, in the future. But it fits. It fits him, I feel. But yeah, not bad at all. Far worse entrance themes on this roster. But yeah, he looked like $1 million out there. The crowd was ready to see him in action in an NXT ring. He carries himself like an absolute megastar. And hey, if he can keep his nose to the grind here, I think he's going to go places in WWE. Like I said, that crowd was chanting Tony fumbled. Maybe he did. Again, Starks did some great work in AEW. I'll call him Starks in that instance because he was Starks there. And he also did some great work in NWA. So, I mean, he's well-rounded. He's been doing this for a minute. He's good at his character. I think he's gonna succeed. I really do. And it's coming at a good time because with Mania season coming up and main roster's debuts being imminent, Ricky can definitely fill a pretty big main event spot in NXT. Eventually, he will fill the main roster spot, but currently he will be filling a good spot there in NXT. But also, I want to mention as a megastar tonight, the juggernaut, Jordynne Grace. Again, just like I said of Ricky, Jordynne just carries herself in such a way that is just befitting of a superstar, of a champion, of someone that's important. Walks into the room and everybody knows there's somebody without anybody having to say that. And she carries herself that way, and she comes across that way. And she was good here. This was a good promo. I liked the way she came across. Stating her goals, and also too, it's good to see Roxy get a little involvement tonight. But so Jordynne Grace and Ricky Saints are my megastars of the night for the February the 25th, 2025 episode of NXT. Guys, that is NXT in a nutshell tonight. I certainly hope that all y'all had a good time watching this evening. I certainly had a good time talking about NXT with you. And hey, you know what? I have some wonderful news for you. If you had a good time here tonight, we're not just here on Tuesday nights talking NXT. No, 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 no. We are also here every night of the week. We're here Monday nights talking Monday Night Raw. Obviously, Tuesday nights for NXT. Wednesday nights, you know what that means? AEW Dynamite. Thursday nights are for TNA Impact, kind of our sister show here at NXT. And Fridays, of course, are for SmackDown. And guys, I keep misspeaking on this. Wednesday nights, the AEW Dynamite Post Show is now part of the DSR Flagship podcast. So tune in Wednesday nights for the DSR Flagship, and you'll also get all the news from AEW. It's 2 for 1, guys. You can't lose. It's amazing. What a deal, right? All for free. All for free. But also, on Sundays, we have a couple shows as well. Myself and CJ, the CJ Carter. We bring you CJ and Tyler's Weekend Wrestling Roundup with the W. We won't be doing it this weekend, though. I have my wedding anniversary coming up, so apologies, gentlemen and ladies, but I'll be off with the wife. And also on Sundays, 3NT, bringing all the news of the week and doing it in only the way they can. It is fun. It is great. And they all look good doing it, guys. So tune in to 3NT every Sunday. And guys, please give Dirt Sheet Radio a follow on all social media outlets, DSR, all across the board. Check it out. And after you do that, hey, could you give me a follow as well over at The Pro Wrestling Hipster on Facebook? I appreciate it. It means a lot to me. And hey, guys, if you can hit that like and subscribe, that means a lot to us too. I know you get tired of hearing it. Everyone says it all the time. But we really appreciate it. It means a lot. Guys, thank you again so much for tuning in live. Dirt Sheet Radio will be back tomorrow. We'll see you then. Guys, I'm the Pro Wrestling Hipster. This is Molly Holly. Dirt Sheet Radio will be live tomorrow. Thank y'all so much. We'll see you then.